Hi, let me give you some quick information before the video starts. So you guys know, I'm starting this new channel. I have another channel, and that's where this video originally appeared. It's a comic book channel called Comics with Bueller. VanLife really doesn't fit on the comic book channel, so I made a new channel, this one you're on right now, the VanLife with Bueller channel, and this video is meant for this one. So please give it a watch. 75 questions about van life. Nothing's off limits. Starts off a little different because it was on the other channel, but I think you guys are going to enjoy. Okay, let's get to the video. I have 75 questions that my audience has asked about living in a bus or a van life, bus life, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of the same thing. And these are all questions I've received over a comment that I put out there on my Instagram, my YouTube, and I said, hey, do you have any questions? Let me know. These are some of those and some other random ones. So a lot of them are personal questions about me, about my experience living in a van, a bus. A lot of them have to do with sex. I don't know what your guys' thing is about, but we will talk about the sexy time as it was put from someone in these questions. And a lot of it is also just living the van life or the bus life. If it's something you're interested in, I'm going to try to answer these questions. Everything from how much does it cost? What is your regrets? What do you like? You name it, I'm going to cover it. But anyway, let's get started on the 75 questions. If I won't go into too much detail. If you guys want to know more detail, just send me a message on my Instagram at Comics with Bueller, and I'll give you more detailed description if you have something specific. So here we go. The first one is, what's the worst part about living the van life? The worst part is it gets messy really quick. You're in a very small space, and just like that, it's a mess. It doesn't take very long. When you're cooking or whatever, it just, everything builds up, and before you know it, after you've cleaned it, it's already a mess. That is obviously the worst part about it. Next question is, what's the best part? The best part, and the thing I like the most, is the freedom. I get to go anywhere. I get to see anything I want to do. If I heard about something, I just go there and do it. So it's definitely the freedom. If you're ever wanting to do the bus or van life, the freedom, you'll experience it. You'll be like, okay, I get it. So the first thing, that's probably the best part by far. How do you make money? As a lot of you know who are watching, my regular viewers, I make money on YouTube. But for you, those of you who are maybe new watching this right now, how do I make money? Well, I'm a YouTuber. I've been doing YouTube now for over 6 years. It's not about van life. It's about comic books. It's a fairly well-known channel in the comic book industry. Knock on wood. So I make money doing the YouTube videos. I'm also sponsored by a lot of the comic book industry themselves. A lot of people involved, publishers, exclusive stores, a coffee company as well. So how I make money is through that. My sponsorship deals, my YouTube deals, which makes it so I can do what I do. And I'm very blessed to have these guys on board. And it's worked out really well. So that's kind of how I make money. I also have a Patreon as well. I don't have very many members on the Patreon, about 50 people, and I thank you all who are on there and all the people in the past as well. Everything helps. I also have merchandise that I sell, like t-shirts and stuff. That's not really that big of a deal, so I don't really count that as income. But really, it's the sponsorship deals and the YouTube is what makes it so I can live my dream. So I'm very, very grateful for that. This is back to the sex stuff. Ever had a lot lizard at your door? A lot lizard is a prostitute at a truck stop. And that is the main reason I don't really stay at truck stops, because yes, I have had a lot lizard knock on my door and they will not leave you alone. So anyway, getting a truck stop prostitute is not high on my list. So I pass. And so anyway, that's how that goes. So no. Sitting on long drives, do you stop and take a stretch? Because, your circulation and stuff. I do. I only drive for like 3 or 4 hours at a time when I'm traveling. And then I'll stop, at a rest stop or get something to drink or relax. And just kind of take a breather, take a walk for like 20 minutes just to get my circulation moving. But it's very important that you do. Every now and then I will drive for a long period of time, like 6 or 7 hours when I'm really trying to get to a place. And it just is what it is, but that doesn't happen very often. Has the food on the road, how is the food on the road? Do you eat a lot of fast food? No, I don't eat a lot of fast food because the bus is too big to go through a fast food drive-through. So I don't eat a lot of fast food. The food on the road is awesome because you can go wherever you want. And I usually meet a lot of people on the road, and they invite me out to go to someplace really cool to eat. And I've had some really great food on the road. I think my good friend, Comics Will Break Your Heart. No, I'm sorry. Comics Will Break Your Heart. We had some good waffles. But the boy who had 7, went to a Mexican restaurant in Texas. Oh, man, it was great. I remember that for sure. Let's see. Does it feel like home in a way a house would? Not really. I understand what you're saying. No, it's not. A house is a lot different. So, but it does feel like home, but not like a house would, if you understand what I'm saying. So, but yes, this does feel like home. It's my home. It's everything I need is right here. Are you lonely on the road? I get asked this quite a bit. And no. Easy answer is no. I don't get very lonely on the road. Obviously, doing YouTube, I talk to a lot of people all the time, so that might be a reason I don't. I do get instances where, like, I'll be experiencing something, and I feel a little guilty because I'm like, man, somebody else should be here seeing this, whether it be a friend or one of my kids or someone I'm in a relationship with. Either way, it's just like I feel a little selfish having that moment just to myself. And I wouldn't mind sharing it with. There's some beautiful sunsets out there. But no, I don't really get lonely. I like my solitude. I like being by myself. And, I have 2 extremes. Like, I'll go be by myself for like a week or 2. Then I'll go to a Comic-Con and be surrounded by 100,000 people for 4 days and hang out with a ton of people. So it's a nice little balance. So I'm pretty good. How difficult is it to bathe and use the restroom? Okay, so to bathe, I use a lot of Planet Fitness. I have a Black Card Planet Fitness membership. It's good at any Planet Fitness. There's tons of them. Usually that's my go-to for showers and stuff like that. Or if I'm at like a state park that has a shower, that's where I use it. But 99% of the time, it's Planet Fitness. I do have a portable shower. I've used that a couple times out in the desert. As far as the bathroom goes, I have a portable toilet, and I can use that anytime. And there's another question about that in a little bit. But it works just fine. And then obviously you can stop anywhere on the road. And rest stop, gas station, you name it. Does it stink? And on the bus, and also having a pet, does that make it stink? No, it's actually pretty good because when you're driving, you just roll the windows down and you air it all out. So it doesn't take too long to get the funk out of the bus. At least I don't think it stinks. I have my incense that I burn and stuff like that. I had one going right now. So I try to keep it fresh in here, but I'm sure it might have a little bit of funk in it. But, what are you going to do? Is it expensive to do the bus life, van life? It's more expensive than I thought. But not as expensive as, having a mortgage and all that stuff that comes along with that. So, but it was kind of an eye-opener. It was a little bit more expensive than I thought. And we'll get a little bit into that a little bit later. Are you afraid at night or any time? Easy answer to that, no, I'm not. I'm a pretty big guy. I'm 6'4", 280 pounds. I'm not really worried, to be honest. And I figure if someone's gonna try to break in or whatever, there's easier targets. So I don't really get too freaked out about stuff. So I'm pretty good. So no, I don't really get scared. How much longer are you planning on doing the bus life? This originally was a 5-year plan. I'm on year 2 right now, so I still got quite a bit more time to go. I'm still kind of sticking to that. I don't see any reason why that would change. So yeah, about 5 years. Next year, the 3rd year, I'm planning on going to Canada for most of the year. And year 4 and 5 is up in the air, but I still plan on doing this for a while. Do you wish your rig was bigger or smaller? That's a good question. I've gone back and forth. I actually wish it was a little bit smaller because my rig is about 20 feet long. It's an old shuttle bus conversion, and it does really well. But a smaller rig, I could go a little bit more off-grid and to some different, more secluded places, and I would like that. So eventually I wouldn't mind getting a new rig that's a little bit smaller, a little more compact, and so I can go more off-road than I can with this. So if I had to get a new rig, it would be a smaller one than what I have. So is it safe for a solo female to do van life? I'm not a female. But I would say, yeah, I've met a lot of women who do this on the road, and a lot of them have pets like dogs and stuff, and I think there's a comfort level having a companion with you and stuff like that. And so I recommend, if you are a single female, have a pet like a dog or something, you know. And but I think it's pretty safe. Most people I've met are all just, the people I've met that are in the van life or the bus life thing are all great. I haven't had any bad experiences with the people who do this all the time. So I'd say you're good. 3 things I regret about the bus life, van life. 3 things. First things first is, I wish I would have done it sooner. So that's one regret. Like I said, I've only had the bus about 2 years now. I wish I would have started sooner doing this. Another thing I regret, that's a tough one. I'll have to get back to that, because the only thing I can really think of that I regret is that I didn't do it sooner. So there you go. 3 things I rejoice. So the opposite of that. I really enjoy doing it, obviously. Seeing new places, and then also meeting interesting people. Those are the funnest things about it. Really, just what's around the next corner, who you're going to meet, what you're going to see. Is some of the best things. How uncomfortable or comfortable is sexy time? Here we go. Here's to the coitus, or whatever you want to call it. So, first things first, I lowered my bed. And I did that within the first 4 months when I was on the road. The bed was high, and I lowered the bed about 8 inches, a little bit lower. There's multiple reasons. That might be one of them. But for the most part, I would say comfortable. So there you go. Jesus. Let's see. How many miles have you logged on my trip? So I've been on the road, like I said, about 18 months. I've gone across the country about 6 times, back and forth, and a bunch of stuff in between. You know what? I would probably say at least 75 to 90,000 miles, if not more, on this bus. Has the bus been broken in properly? That's another one of the coitus questions. So there's a couple more coming up. My kids are watching. Yes. Okay. Next one. What's the nicest state to drive through? I have a tie between 2. Love Utah. Utah is beautiful. Montana as well. Utah and Montana. I haven't been to every state. I've been to 44 or 45. 45 of the states and the big I've been to Hawaii. That was something separate. I've never been to Alaska, but the lower 48 is what they call it. Whatever, the 48 states. So I've been to 45 of those. Or maybe, yeah, something like that. So, but those 2, Utah and Montana, by far. Montana was like, whoa, this is great. What's the most boring state to drive through? Okay, I debated on putting this on there because people from the state might get pissed off, but I will be honest. Texas, I swear to God, Texas is a huge state, obviously. It is flat, it is straight, and there's a lot of cows and manure and smells, and not much to look at for a lot of that state. Hundreds and hundreds of miles. You're just going in a straight line. You can see forever. It's not that great. But I will tell you about Texas. Really nice people. Almost everyone I met were great. Food there is fantastic. And I really enjoyed the Alamo and San Antonio. So there you go. I have not gone to the coast yet. So I haven't been there. So that might change my mind. Let's see. What's the most boring? Okay, I got that one. Do you sleep as good on the bus as you did at a house? Yeah, my bed's very comfortable. I'm a big guy. I'm, like I said, about 6'4". My bed is about 3 or 4 inches longer than that. So I have a very comfortable bed. So I'm good. I'm really good. Do you miss having a house to go to every day? Not really. I wouldn't do this if I did, to be honest. So no, I prefer this much better than just going to the same old house down the same street, checking the same mailbox every day. So no, I like this better. Has anyone spent the night with you on the bus? Now, this could go either way. Has it spent the night with you like a lady? Or has someone just like stayed the night? Like my son stayed the night when we went to Washington, D.C., stayed about a week on the bus. And as far as a lady, yes. What has been some of the biggest surprises on your travels? Mount Rushmore was one of my favorites. I was kind of taken back by Mount Rushmore. Washington, D.C., I just mentioned, was also another amazing place. And just like Utah is probably my favorite state is Utah. It's just beautiful. And I'm always surprised on how beautiful our country is when you just take a moment to look and just admire these places. So my biggest surprise is just some of the places I've been to and really enjoyed them. Are you still planning on going to Canada in 2024? Yes, I am. 2024, I will be going to Canada and hopefully spending a nice portion of the year in Canada. I'd really like to. Does the bus attract the ladies? Yes and no. I don't, maybe. I would like to think that I attract the ladies, but, whatever. I'll take all the help I can get. Have you lost weight you look at since starting Bus Life? Yes, I have. And the main reason because of that is I cook my own food. The bus is too big to go through a drive-through for fast food. And I just have a refrigerator. I don't have a freezer. So all my food is fresh. I don't have any frozen food. And so when you do that, you just naturally just kind of eat better and you feel better. And I'm more active on the bus because I'm going to these places I want to go hike and do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I've lost some weight. And it's funny because when I stay somewhere, like right now, I'm kind of hanging out at my dad's place for a while because it's kind of nice here to stay during this time of year. And I gain weight when I get to a regular place that I stay for a little bit because it's, more convenient. You're more stationary. All the stores right down there and whatever, or the restaurants right over there. So when I'm moving on the road, I lose weight. When I sit I'm at one place, I start to gain the weight back, which is what I'm doing right now. But I got to get on the road. What was the startup cost to live your dream? So to do the bus van life, the startup cost. Let me kind of just break it down really quick. So the bus itself cost $11,000. I put about $9,000 into the conversion. And that includes like the solar setup and all the equipment for that, the panels, the batteries. That was very expensive. That was like $3,000 right there. I would say about, to get the ball rolling, I would say around 18 to 20,000. So somewhere in there, give or take. And I'd say that's about it. And luckily I sold a bunch of comics and I had a $30,000 cushion to start, so I was good. Let's see. How was the journey on the bus change your perspective? It really has changed my perspective on life. It's really made me kind of just go for it, I guess you'd say. I've told my friends this. I don't say no to anything anymore. If I get an opportunity to do something, I take it. As long as it doesn't kill me, I'm going to try it. And I think that's just a matter of living on the road. Just like, you never know what's around that corner. So you're just going to go for it. And so my perspective is I don't hesitate. I just go for it. It's like, oh, you heard about this place? Let's go do it. I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm not going to put it off. We're going to go do it right now. We're going to enjoy it. If we crash and burn, who cares? At least we tried it. So, yes, it definitely has changed my outlook on life. Let's see. Why are you doing this? Are you terminally ill? I'm doing this because I've always wanted to travel, and I just never had the means to do it and the finances to do it. Luckily, at this stage in my life with the YouTube channel and my sponsorship deals and stuff, and I think there's another question pertaining to that, I'm able to do it. Am I terminally ill? No. I'm actually in pretty good health. I think I'm in the best health I've been in quite some time. So I'm good. So I appreciate you asking. Is there a toilet seat on the bucket? So my toilet does have a seat. It's like a cassette toilet is what it's called. So it's two pieces, like the top piece, it's a big thing. That's where you sit on, and then you do your one or two, and then it goes into a separate tank. You open it, you flush it down there, you shut it, sealed up, and then you're good to go. But it's like a regular toilet. It works pretty good. I have used it, and like people walk by the bus when I'm sitting there taking a dump. They don't know what's going on, thankfully, but it's a little uncomfortable. Anyway, okay. Where do you stay at night or camp? So I get asked that quite a bit. So obviously, be on the road for so many time or a long time. Where do I stay? My Cracker Barrel is a great place to stay at night. Any Cracker Barrel usually lets people camp in the back and stuff like that behind there. And I normally go get something from the either store or the restaurant. So that's my place of choice when I'm traveling on the road and going to places. It's a nice stop. I can stop for a few hours, get to sleep, wake up in the morning, I'm good, go on my way. Walmart is kind of the same thing, although Walmart has kind of cracked down on the people camping. I understand people are abusing it. But Cracker Barrel's still pretty good. Rest stops are another one. Usually you could stay at a rest stop for overnight. It's fine. And then I use an app called, the Campenium is an app that I use, and there's a couple other ones I use. I'm forgetting the name. Overlander or something like that. And it will tell you where you can camp or where you can sleep. And I use that quite a bit. And I've never had a problem finding a place where I can camp or sleep. Some places are designated campsites where you can go and stay for a couple weeks. Some places I'm just there for a day, or it's a parking lot or something like that. So, but there's no shortage of places where you can stay when you have those apps, and you can find them, no problem. Let's see. I handled the wildfires or weather in my travels. That's funny you should say that, because coughing right now because there's wildfires around me where I'm at right now, and there's really bad smoke. And I try to I keep track of the weather, the wildfires, whatever was going around me, and I avoid that stuff. Like, I follow the weather. You know, I don't go to Minnesota in December, and I don't go to Arizona in July. You know, I try to follow the weather where it's nice and acceptable at the time. So that's kind of a rule of thumb. Sometimes you can't avoid it. I've been stuck in really bad thunderstorms, and you just got to ride it out. When there's forest fires and stuff, you know, sometimes you have to evacuate, and you just move on down the road. So, but the air quality can be pretty bad, so you want to stay. I do have a ceiling fan right here that sucks and blows. So it blows the air out, or sucks it in, or sucks it out, or blows it in. It does both. So it can clear up whatever's going on, including when I burn something when I'm cooking something. What tools do you carry on the van? That's a good question. I have a full-blown toolkit, wrenches, you know, all the stuff you can use. I have a full-blown electric drill and stuff, and I have an electric saw. I have a lot of tools that I carry with me, and they've all come in handy on the road. And so the more tools you can have, anything having to do with a vehicle, have it. And then the other stuff, you know, try to have as well. So the more the better, I think. What is it like having a pet on the bus? I've had a cat and a dog. I had a cat first. That was my cat Nipples. She hated the bus. She just hated it. She didn't like it. She'd hide whenever the bus started. She'd be hidden for like a half hour after the bus stopped. So that didn't work out for me. So I ended up, my daughter took my cat for a little bit, and then she gave it back. And then my son took the cat, and he's like, oh, I want the cat. So the cat's home, happy. My son loves having the cat. So I recently got a dog a couple months ago, my dog Sam. Having a dog is a lot better. Sam enjoys the bus, and you don't have to worry about him like just escaping all the time. Cats will find a little window and they'll jump and they're gone. And you can walk a dog. So I enjoy having a dog. He's a little dog, so it's good. So yeah, I like having a pet. It's not bad at all. How do you do laundry on the road? I just laundromats. I have a couple bags. I fill them up. I try to hit laundromats whenever I like small towns. Usually small town will have a local laundromat. Go there, hang out at the laundromat for a couple hours, do some laundry, and that's about it. So I don't have a lot of clothes, you know, because limited space, but I do pretty good. Just laundromat. Is it easy to street stealth camp in a city? I've never had a problem doing it. My bus is kind of commercial because it's got a wrap on it, it's got all these logos and stuff, so people like look at it, oh, it's supposed to be there. And so I've never really had a problem. It might be different for other people, but so far it's pretty simple. I can wherever there's a parking spot, I can pretty much park there, and I don't overstay my welcome. That's what you that's what you have to realize. Don't overstay your welcome. Go there when you have to go there. Leave as soon as you can, and you should be good. How much does it cost on an average month? Okay, now that's a good question. That will fluctuate depending on how much you're driving. Your number one cost is going to be your gas. And the first month I started doing this VanLife thing, it cost me $2,700 in gas in 1 month, which is almost $100 a day. And that was way more than what I was paying for my mortgage and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I need to slow down. So if you can control your travels a little bit, you'll be fine. At that time, gas is very expensive as well. It's like $6-7 a gallon for diesel. It's just crazy. But I would say my expenses a month. Like I said, if you want to get more specific, just send me a message. But I would say roughly probably about $1,000 a month for everything. I think my major cost is my internet and phone bill, besides gas. And that, like I said, you can control that. But internet and phone bill is probably the major one. That's probably about a couple $100. And so yeah, I'd say about $1,000. So, do you cook in the van? Yes, I cook all the time. I have everything. I have a microwave, I have a little stove, you name it. So I can cook whatever I want. So I enjoy it. So I try to learn something new to make. So do you have a shower or toilet? Yes, I do have a toilet. I talked about that. Shower, I have a portable shower. I only use it a couple times, but you just fill it up with water, you pressurize it, it comes out, and you're good. So yeah, I do have that, but I don't use it very often. How do you run electrical devices on your van? That's a good question. As you see, it's nighttime. I got all the electric going on. I have solar panels on the roof, 300 watt solar panels. I have 2 solar batteries and stuff that are down here. I don't even use those, to be honest. Something went wrong with them. They're okay. I just haven't hooked them back up. I have 2 Jackery power stations. I have a Jackery 1000 and a Jackery 300. Those are basically battery backups and stuff. And my Jackery 1000 and my Jackery 300 actually do a really good job running all my electrics for the most part. If I'm in boondocking for a while, I do have a gas generator. I will bust that out and just sips gas, and I can run stuff off that as well. But I've never really had too much of an issue for electric power with my battery backup, so I'm good. And you can also just turn the bus on and just plug something in, if you're idling, you're not really using that much gas. What are people's reaction when you tell them you live in a van? It varies. You'll get, oh, is everything okay? And then when I explain what I do, oh, that's really cool. So the first reaction is a little, like that. After I explain it, it's good. So not too bad. How do you decide where to travel? Like I said before, that's based on the weather. So when I do travel, I look at the weather. I try to go where it's nice. I try to go places where I've not been. Obviously, as you guys know, who are the comic book fans, I try to go to different Comic Cons, different comic shops, and I'm trying to go to every comic shop in America, so that has a lot to do with it as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I decide. And I'll do a lot of research on places, like I'll look, okay, Colorado. So I go look in these places, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I did a hot springs run in Utah, and marked out 4 different hot springs in a row. And I went to all 4 of those hot springs, some clothing optional. And it was great. So that was a fun week, just going to different hot springs. So yeah, just depends on what I'm in the mood for. How do you find places to stay? I think I hit on that earlier. The iOverlander app, Campinium YouTube, friends, and I just kind of hear it through the grapevine. That's kind of it. The iOverlander is really good, and Campinium. Have you met any crazies? Yes, I've met a few crazies. I've seen naked people running down the road or walking down the road. I had some guy jump out of the bushes, just come running at my bus, like telling me the government was after him. I mean, he was in the deep woods, man. I don't know where this guy came from. He started banging on people's things and stuff. It was just, yeah, there's some crazies out there. What is your miles per gallon? It's a diesel truck. It's a kind of heavy rig, so I'm getting about 10 to 11 miles per gallon. At $5 a gallon, that's not great. How do I get mail? I usually, my daughter lives in Albuquerque, so I sometimes have stuff sent to her depending where I'm at. And then when I'm on the West Coast, I have some different addresses. And sometimes I have other addresses of friends. So like when I'm in Florida, I got friends there. And I'm like, hey man, can I have something sent to your house? I'll pick it up when I'm there. So I do a lot of that. But for the most part, my bills and stuff like that, it's all digital now. So I don't really, most mail I get is junk mail. So I'm okay. How long can you stay off grid? I don't know for sure, but I think I've been off grid for about a total about 2 weeks, almost 2.5 weeks. Let's see, 14 days. I probably about 16 days off grid. And that was just based on how much food and stuff I had. So I could stay longer because everything is solar power for the most part. So I can stay off grid for quite a while. Okay, we're doing good. I think we're doing good. Yeah, okay. How do you get the internet? I have Starlink internet. That's what I use. It works pretty good. I pay for it. It's like $150. It's kind of spendy. It went up in price. And then I also have hotspots on my cell phone data. So if I can't get my cell phone signal, I use the Starlink, and that's how I get my internet. So I got 2 different options. And I have a hotspot device as well. So 3 options, actually. What do you use to heat or cool the van? So I do have an air conditioner, but you have to plug it into Sure Power. Sure Power is like at a campsite, a regular plug-in. And I have fans, a ceiling fan to cool it and stuff like that. As far as heating goes, I do have a electric heater. Also takes a lot of energy to run that, but I can. And then I have, they're called My Buddy or Buddy heaters. And I use that sometimes. And they're actually really efficient. And I can kind of drape off half of the bus and like the front end of the bus. And just, so the heat stays where I'm at. So it works out pretty good. So I'm never too uncomfortable. How much money are you saving by living the van life? I think I'm saving, I mean, you can save quite a bit of money. I mean, that's kind of a hard question to say because the expenses are different and the income is different as well. So, but if someone wanted to do the van life, yes, you can probably save quite a bit of money if you're, let's say you're making $50,000 a year, and then just throwing a figure out, and your regular expenses are $30,000 a year. You could probably cut that in half. You know, living in a car or whatever. So there you go. Has the bus ever broken down? Yes, it has broken down. And actually, I'm waiting right now to get some repairs done to it. It's got an issue right now, and I got to get it ready for the winter months going ahead because just colder temperatures, diesel engines are different. So I got to get some things replaced. But yes, it has broken down, and sometimes it's a pain in the ass. And sometimes it's just as simple as alternator went bad and you just get a new alternator, which we've all had to do, or, you know, flat tire and stuff. But I have had a couple like major problems, and which took me off the road for a little bit, and very frustrating. But it is what it is. I'm putting thousands and thousands of miles on a rig that's what has been here since 1997. And I'm going to run into issues. A lot of people give me tell me the bus always breaks down. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It broke down twice. It had a new alternator, which is no big deal. And then the gushing of the fuel was kind of a big deal. But like I said, I put a lot of miles on it, and it's done so great. I mean, I drove all over the country. So I knock on wood, I'm pretty happy with how it's been so far. But you always have to plan for stuff like that. Let's see. Has you ever thought about quitting? Have I ever thought about quitting? No, I don't think so. I've been pretty excited the whole time. So no, I would say that it's never really crossed my mind. So have you been pulled over? I did get pulled over once in Kansas, and I think the cop pulled me over because he was just curious about my rig, because it very stands out if you've seen a picture of it. And because he's like, oh, you were going only a couple miles over the speed limit. I was like going like, it was 65 and I was doing 68, I think he's told me. He's like, oh, okay, you're good to go. So, anyway, and then I got talked to someone at the Border Patrol or whatever it was. So, anyway, have you ever gotten the knock? The knock is when you get knocked on the door, you've been told to leave if you're camping somewhere. No, I have not. And knock on wood, I've never gotten a knock before. And like I said, I don't overstay my welcome. I get up, I go, and I'm out. So, no, I never got the knock. But I've heard stories. Do you get sleepy while driving? I do. And that was actually a big issue in the beginning. I was like, man, I feel like I'm falling asleep. Talked to my doctor friend. He said, make sure you go for a walk and stuff like that to get the blood pumping. So I do that. And then I found that if you're chewing on something, it keeps you awake. So beef jerky. I chew a lot of beef jerky. Thing is, beef jerky, it's kind of expensive. So I found that ice chips do the same thing. Ice is a lot more inexpensive than beef jerky. So have a big gulp cup of ice chips. Just chew on those while you're driving, man. You're good. You're good. So anyway, little tricks of the trade. Would you change anything about your van build? Yeah, I probably would. I probably would have made the table and bed combination type thing in the back and made this whole bench right here. That's really the one thing I would think that I would do differently. And but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. So not bad for my first time. Do you have a regular home? No, this is my home. My buddy has now bought the house I was living in before, Bob. I know he likes it, so he's there now. So no, I don't have a regular home. This is it. So out of the all the time I've been on the road, I've slept in this bus pretty much probably everything except for maybe a week combined times, from staying in a hotel or something like that. So maybe 7 days out of 2 years. So, what is your entertainment on the bus? Hey, that's a good question. I have entertainment. So I got a TV behind me. I got a DVD player. I got an Xbox right there. I got tons of movies, tons of games to play, comic books to read, just entertainment, just like you'd have at your house, really. I have. So I'm good. Everything in the bus is there to entertain. So, what's one thing that you have now that you didn't have at the beginning? I would say the one thing I have now is an ice maker. And I kid you not, the ice maker is a game changer. And I wish I would have had the ice maker at the beginning. It's very low wattage and stuff, and it makes ice. And I can have ice on my drinks in a desert, and it's just fantastic. So buy an ice maker. I'm glad I have it now. Is your bus your only transportation? No, it's not. I actually have an electric bike underneath my bed that folds up, so I can take that. That's good for like 20, 30 miles, something like that. I use it all the time. I got over 1,000 miles logged on that bike. I love it. It's got some issues. The handles are broken. The brakes are broken off. I had to MacGyver it because I put so many miles on it and stuff. But I love having that thing. I also have a paddle board, which I just got for on rivers or lakes. I use that quite a bit now. And I also have an inflatable boat as well. So I got some other forms of transportation. Where does your garbage go? It goes in the garbage cans. Normally it's just whenever at a rest stop or a gas station, I get rid of my garbage and stuff like that. So I got it hanging up on the wall right now. Where do you dump your toilet? It's a little cassette, like I was saying earlier. It's a little cassette thing. You can take it, and there's dump stations across the country. That iOverlander app and Campaign will actually tell you where there's a dump station. Sometimes they're free at gas stations. Sometimes they cost a little bit of money to dump it and stuff. It's really a great thing to do, just to dump your crap. But it is what it is. Everyone who has an RV knows what I'm talking about. It's a normal thing. So, do you have protection on the bus? I'm assuming you're talking about personal protection. And so I'm not a big gun guy, so I'll just tell you, no, I don't have a gun on the bus. Different states I travel have different laws. So, I don't want to break any laws or whatever. So I do have nunchucks. And I do have a couple knives. I actually have a knife right above my bed right here. You can see it right there. And it's like bolted up there. It comes right out. And I got a knife at the front door as well. And these are like survival knives. And I got these guns right here. So I'm good. So if anyone tries, good luck. Let's see. Is everything you own on the bus? I have a 5x5 storage locker in Oregon, and mostly what's in there are seasonal items and my daughter's stuff. I have like 2 huge totes of my daughter's things and some comic books, and that's really about it. Everything else is here on the bus. Are you friends with other van or bus life YouTubers? I am with a few. A bus life story, I think. I've met them. I went to their place and stuff. I've been on one of the videos as well. Not very many like I am, obviously, with the comic book YouTubers, but I've met and talked to a few of them, and they've all been really nice. So I'd like to meet some more. It's interesting. They all do a really good job. So, and that's kind of what got me, helped me take this journey, is watching those videos of them doing the bus life. So, did you waste money on anything for your bus build? Yes, I wasted some money on things you didn't need. Then there's a lot of things that you think you need that you really don't. And so, yeah, there was money wasted. I think, like I said, I don't even use my solar system right now, and that was like $3,000 or $4,000. And if I would have known what I know now, I would have just went the route what I'm using now and saved that money. So yeah, I did. There was some learning curves, and I did waste a little bit of money there. What would you say to someone considering van life? I would say get your stuff together, take care of your business before you do it, and then once you took care of everything you had to take care of, and I'm talking about finances, relationships, all that stuff, go full bore, jump right in and go for it. If that's where your heart lies, and we're talking about people who are making the choice, not something that they have to do because of they can't afford to stay where they're at. We're talking about people who are like, hey, this is something I want to do, let's try it. And if that's who the person I'm talking to, I say just go for it. Don't hesitate. Don't waste too much time. Take care of the stuff you needed to get taken care of, and then so that way you don't have to worry about when you're on the bus or your van, and just start exploring and enjoy, because you're gonna love it. We're almost done here. What made you want to do this? I always wanted to travel. I just didn't have the means to do it, and luckily with the YouTube and the sponsorship deals, I now can travel. And so that's pretty much it. You know, the COVID thing kind of, you know, everyone's stuck in their houses for a little while, and it really got me antsy. I was like, man, if I'm going to do this, now's the time. And so I just kind of put the wheels in motion, set a date, and did everything I did. Like I said earlier, take care of your business. I took care of my business, and on the date I said I was going to do it, that was a date I did it. And I told my audience, say, hey, February, such and such, this is what's happening. And I held myself to it, and I did it. And proud of myself for doing it. And but yeah, get to go around and see and travel and do all sorts of cool things. So I was really wanting to do that. Like I said, just need to get the means to do it, and I do. So that's why I did it. This is the last question. What does the future hold? I don't know. You know, that's the nice thing about doing the bus van life. You really don't know what's around the next corner. Maybe you'll meet someone. Maybe you'll see a place that you've never seen before. Man, I want to live here. You know, I went to New York, and I was like, man, okay, bucket list. I want to live in New York for a year. That's on my bucket list. Just because I went to New York for a trip, saw it, it's like, yeah, let me do this. So you never know. So the future is wide open, and I'm excited about it. And maybe I'll get a new rig. Maybe next year I can pull that off and get a new rig. And like I said, maybe something a little smaller, and do that. But I'm excited for the future, and I'm hoping that you guys are also. So anyway, that is the 75 questions. I don't know if you're still here. If you watched the whole video, thank you for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask me. And if it's about sexy time, I'll tell you. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys watching. This was a lot of fun. And that's van life for you. All right, everyone. Don't forget to live your best life. You know what to do. I'll see you next time.